Hello, everyone. Hey, did you know that you're the chief energy officer of your life? That's called the CEO. We have a new framework for that now, and we're going to share that together on The Miracle Is You. How do you share your giftedness in the world every day? Well, we sure have a show for you, as I'm here with my special guest influencer to discover and to really delve into the depths of knowing that presence and how your presence matters each and every day. I'm your host, Ashley Lee. I'm a global pediatric energy healer, and I'm here to support child leaders and children all across the globe to really support their energetic relatedness with their parents, their family, and everyone they interact so that their level of influence is raised throughout their lifetime. I'm here with my special guest, Rob Goddard. I want to warmly welcome the insightful businessman, the insightful influencer, Rob, who shares about how your presence matters in every moment as we create our business and our life opportunities to bring forward optimal outcomes for everyone by presencing the miracle is actually inside you, just waiting to emerge. Rob is an inspirational mentor, investor, and international speaker who is helping fellow businessmen, business owners achieve their magic number. He is the founder and executive chairman of evolutioncbs.co.uk, where the focus is you, the business owner, optimizing all your choices. Welcome, Rob. I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Wow, what a build-up, Ashley. I don't think I've ever had such a build-up. I hope I won't let you down or the audience down.
Look, there is no way. That's never possible. You are an amazing gentleman. And it was such a pleasure meeting you in France a few years ago.
Wasn't it just? Yeah.
It was amazing. And in your invitation to your world and your level of influence to all of us who attended a luminary activation experience was just amazing. And it gave us insight that I never really experienced before. You were such an influence in my life and made such a difference. I wanted to share your giftedness to the world today on The Miracle Is You. And I wanted to open with this question to you, Rob. In your life, when did you arrive knowing the miracle is you?
Wow, that's a massive question. I guess the key turning point in my life was I was actually not in the UK. I was in Dubai, and I'd been suffering. I was living and working in Dubai. I'd run away from the UK, and I'd spent 2 years trying to deal with depression after my life had collapsed. I lost my job, my money, my family, and had to start again from scratch at the age of 45. And so things were pretty dark, and it was at the start of the last global recession. So I ran away. I did a geographic, as I'm told, and tried to start a new life in Dubai, but it just got worse because I'd cut myself off from my support network, my family, my close friends. And it culminated in me trying to take my life from the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building. I decided one day that there was no point continuing. And whilst I was leaving behind, the pain was too much for me. And I decided to go to the Burj Khalifa and find a way out. But the fire exit that I chose was locked. And so that's why you and I are talking today.
Well, blessings in that one.
Yeah. But the story really begins from there, because I could have found another building. And some of the buildings in Dubai don't have any roofs. They're rooftop bars. But I didn't take that. I made the choice to contact my friend Alex, who you met in France.
Yes.
Alex Petty.
Beautiful gentleman.
Yeah, lovely guy, good friend. And I flew him over to Dubai, and we spent 4 days together. And I'm a typical guy because I didn't really tell him all the detail. He knew I wasn't happy. He could look in my fridge and he said to me, "There's nothing green in it. It's just meat and alcohol." and you clearly are not happy being here in Dubai. So I spent time with Alex just talking things through. He was a really good listening ear. And off the back of those conversations in those 4 days, I'd resolved that I wanted to face my problems back in the UK, face my debts in the UK, and build my new life back in my home country. And so those 4 days with Alex were fundamental. And then when I come back to the UK, I was shot as a person. I'm usually quite a confident person, but depression and business failure, career failure, and marriage failure knocked the stuffing out of me, to be quite honest. So I did a search on LinkedIn. I put the words confidence coach, because I needed someone to help me build my confidence back if I was going to restart my life. And up popped someone quite local, a lady called Tracy Miller. And we spent a few months where she was coaching me and counseling me and all sorts of woo-woo stuff as well that you'll be pleased to hear.
We love the woo-woo.
Oh, we love the woo-woo sometimes. You've got to have a bit of that. And that then springboarded into me having a 9-year association with a group that her and her husband, George, a success group, which helped me every month. We'd meet together with fellow business owners. And for me, in the early years, it was so supportive. So I think that we can all check out of life if we really want to. But really, the destruction that leaves is immense for the people that you leave behind. And there's always a solution. And so that's what I learned. That was the turning point, was Dubai. And that was in 2010. So I spent the last 11 years rebuilding my life. And one of the things I learned was to actually open up to other people and be honest and authentic, which is quite difficult for guys around the world. We're not very good at communicating feelings. We communicate facts. Women are a lot better at communicating feelings.
Well, we're ready to change that in the world right now, aren't we? Because your level of authenticity is so crisp and so clean and so refreshing. It really is. And I sense that creates better relationships in our lives, right? Better relationships with our families, with our friends, with our colleagues, and even with our own clients.
You're absolutely right, Ashley. And the thing is, I struggled for years on this sort of clawing back to a life where I felt that I triumphed over adversity. But I was holding back. I wasn't sharing my personal story in the business world, because I thought that business people that I knew would judge me and see me as weak, because I'd suffered from depression, a suicide attempt. And I kept things away from the business world. And then I had a light bulb moment a few years ago where with a friend of mine saying, well, why don't you share your story? If you're authentic, people will warm to you. And if there's the odd person that judges you and doesn't really want to know you, then it really weren't your friend anyway.
Or maybe your best client.
So for a number of years now, I've shared my story, both on the stage, sharing my own personal battle with depression, to business people, because one of the phenomena across the world is business burnout. People suffering, business owners suffering from anxiety, too much stress, and feeling the world has come to an end. And particularly as we enter another recessionary period, we've all been suffering and dealing with the pandemic across the world. Life is tough for everyone, and it's especially tough for business owners that carry the weight of the world on their shoulders.
For sure.
and three times as many men commit suicide than women. 75% of suicides worldwide are male, not
Wow.
female. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio. There's something wrong in our makeup as men, that we're more susceptible to taking our own lives. So that's part of my mission, is to be natural, authentic, and share within the business community that, look, there might be some dark periods, but it can get better. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is something that you can aim for, and you don't have to take your own life.
Well, and you brought up that so well. I want to add in and bring some ownership from the female aspect, especially the female sociological or cultural aspect. And I think this culture goes across most first world civilizations. It's the women, it's the mamas just saying, I'm one too. I admit it. I haven't reared a boy child yet. I've been a preschool teacher and a pediatric nurse and a lot of other things in the world of pediatrics, and supported young men, young boys to emote. But culturally, we've been growing up in the latter part of 1900s into the young 2000s, really recognizing that emotions didn't serve our purpose. They made us angry, or when we were too happy, we weren't focused. All of these kinds of things where emotions weren't really helpful. And we've taught young boys not to wear emotions on their sleeves, but they have to be strong, and they have to be virile, and they have to be supportive, and they have to know what to do. And so I'm going to share openly and honestly that it's the mamas, maybe even the dads too, but a lot of times it's the mamas that restructured or structured that young boy not to feel feelings. And
Yeah.
so this idea of being great parents and stewards to children in the world is to really allow feelings to, bring up that emotional wisdom in the world, bring up our emotional intelligence. And so I want to share, it might be a burden on the men that are experiencing this, but I want to bring it back to the mamas, and to start to support boy children and girl children, no matter what orientation they have, is to allow them to experience their feelings and to express it so that they can actually share that what is deeper underneath is there's a belief or a thought problem or some limitation that they're experiencing, that, or a value system that they're experiencing that doesn't allow them to express their emotions.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right, Ashley, because out of weakness can come strength. I think it's biblical, actually. But I think, but I think there's more courage in making yourself vulnerable than there is pretending and being an actor or an actress in life.
Yeah.
I think there's more courage and strength of character in just being yourself. I've learned now. I'm just a sales guy for the last 40 years. That's what I am. I'm a sales guy. And sales guys often fall into the trap of wanting to be loved by everyone because they want the order. But actually, I'm at peace, and I have been for many years. I can't be popular with everyone. All I need to do is be loved by the people closest to me, family and friends.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Some people will like me. Some people will really like me. Some people really won't care for me. I'm at peace with that now. But it's taken me 50 odd years to learn that lesson.
Well, what's so nice is we have the opportunity to share these moments of wisdom, these moments of experience, so that other people have the opportunity to experience it for themselves as well. And I was going to ask you a little bit deeper in the idea of, sometimes in life, like in your life, during your deepest and maybe even rather darkest moment, the light did emerge, didn't it?
Yeah.
Even when you're wanting to be on the catwalk, but it wasn't there to be opened, which is fascinating, right? There is some divine order involved in all of that. And when that moment was in your life, and where that light pierced through, your environment, through your friend Alex, or through the moment, through your heart. How much did you realize in that moment or shortly thereafter that your presence on the planet really does matter?
Hmm. I think it was over a period of time, so it wasn't like that. I think I had little wins in the day, in the week, in the month, in the year, and what I tried to train myself with the help of others, particularly Tracy, and which was really helpful on the confidence coaching and the shamanic healing. Was concentrating on the positive, not dwelling on the negative. And that puts your mind, it puts you into a different mindset. So I think it was little moments. So when I got my first order as a self-employed one-man band, working from my bedroom and a broadband connection, as opposed to a corporate and working on a very healthy six-figure income. Those little moments, people pay you. I remember my first check as a business owner, the first check from my first client. And I got so excited when I received it in the post, I went to the bank immediately to bank it. So I think that there's times and people, the secret really is opening up to people closest to you to share how you really feel and don't pretend. And what comes back is it's just like a human synergy, really. People warm to honest, authentic people, not authentic people that are just being themselves. So it was a journey of a few years, and as success came, that just bolsters it up. And people have asked me, if your life collapsed again, would you go back into depression? And
what a great question.
It's a fantastic question.
Would you represent that question? That is a fabulous question.
So my answer has always been, you never know for sure, but I doubt it. And the reason I doubt it is my focus has changed in life now, which is it isn't about gathering money and things, materialism, whilst those things are lovely at the time, and success and all the rest of it. It's actually the only things that really matter in life are your relationships, family and friends. It actually doesn't matter a great deal how much money you have. It's what you spend that matters. It's not what you earn. But it's actually being able to do the things you want to do with the people you want to do it with at the time you want to do it. That is real freedom. That is freedom in life. And there's another word for it. It's retirement. I've retired now. I'm 57 and I've retired, but I've not stopped working.
I am almost there. I'm working on it.
Hey, you're a much younger woman than me, Ashley.
Just a few months.
But retirement isn't stopping work. Retirement for me is having that freedom to work the hours that I want to work and do the things I want to do with the people I want to do it with. And it's so liberating. So liberating.
And I know we can all do it. And as you've healed and grown from this life-altering moment that you've had, what inspires you to rise and choose and live life in its fullest glory? To really to share that the miracle is within you, and to share that miracle with your clients and your family.
Well, another key turning point was with our mutual friend, and was Dr. Andrea Pennington. I went on an event. It was in London, I think it was 4 years ago now, speaking from the heart. And I didn't really look up much about the course, but it was a weekend thing in London. And it was so transforming for me because I was able to voice my message with a group of people I didn't know. And that has helped recalibrate for me how I behave not how I behave, but how I operate within the business world. And actually, it doesn't really matter that people know my personal journey and the struggles I've had. And actually, I found that the vast majority of people on this planet go through the same thing.
They sure do.
Well, when you're going through a bad time or worse, you think you're the only person on the planet that's experiencing this, but actually it's the human condition. So Dr. Andrea Pennington was a real inspiration to me. I engaged her as a personal coach for me as well, and received the benefit of that. But there's other people in business. I had a business mentor, Philip Delisle, and just learnt from him in the way that he looks at a business issue or a business solution and asks the difficult questions. So there's people around me that I know that I've really plugged into. And then there's people, of course, that we all know around the world that are really inspirational speakers that have lived life experiences, and they're ahead of the curve from you. So I love going onto YouTube. I've done a lot of TEDx consumption, TED and TEDx, but it's learning from other people that are ahead of the curve. And they may be younger than me, but their life experiences are ahead of the game from me. And so that's how I get inspired by other people's stories and journeys. And I think, do you know what? I'd love to embrace some of whatever they're demonstrating that isn't in my life. I'd love to have that as part of my armory and part of my toolkit for life.
Well, I think you shared really beautifully well, and really bring in that opportunity and to know, I mean, really from the moment that you've had your life-changing experience to now and rebuilding your life. I mean, you are a very successful businessman and really helping others, so many others, with your team and your efforts in the world to moving people forward to where they really want to be. And when they do that, they feel so much generative too, to be influential to their own employees, their own systems and structures, their organizations, and their giftedness that they bring forward into the world through their organizations. And your organization really presents a level of giftedness because you offer the opportunity of people moving to that next level, right? After they've created their business and their organization. Yeah. Now where do they send it? Who do they gift it to? Who do they sell it to? Who do they steward it to bring it even into a larger light and continue to grow the geniuses that we have on the planet?
Well, the business is called Evolution, and I named it with a purpose because we need to evolve as people. And I was evolved at the time I named the business. I was talking about myself. I needed to evolve into a new life. But of course, what we do in Evolution is we help business owners sell their business, grow it, help them prepare for sale, and then allow them, by selling the business, to finish one chapter in their life and start a new one. And that is liberating for people. And I've had the privilege of seeing that happen 358 times over the years. 358 lives finishing one chapter by selling their business and starting a new one. It should be 359 actually. I haven't looked at my emails tonight, but we should have the latest one today.
You got one more in the bag.
But it's the reason why. It's the Simon Sinek thing. It's even though I've had hundreds of successful transactions that I've been responsible for, and certainly in many years now, the team have done it. I've just added it to my personal resume. They always are exciting because that person's life is going to change once they've sold up, taken the money, and go on a different route in their life. That is so exciting.
It really is. And it's exciting even for the new business owner that just bought the other business, because now they have an opportunity to breathe in another level of genius, another level of fresh air, another level of evolution from that original genius that started it. And that's what's so amazing too, because I have met so many genius practitioners, physicians who have literally changed pediatric neurocritical care. And he grew into his 70s, and he didn't know how to translate that to other physicians, other doctors. It did get through the world, and people are implementing lots of his, as he was called in the day, cowboy medical, experiments that actually worked and saved thousands, if not millions of lives from detrimental trauma of the brain. Another one is an audiologist who really literally helped children with auditory processing and learning how to implement care plans and skill sets that her genius was literally well and above and beyond audiologists and speech language pathologists. And yet they didn't know how to mentor or to sell or to let their programs go to that next person to bring it more light and more genius into that process. And so your business structure of evolution is so beautifully genius for our world, so that when we create, these geniuses create their level of business and their level of organization and aptitude, that it doesn't have to retire with them.
Yeah, you know, and in the business world, we call it succession planning.
Yes.
And what that means in real, you have to make yourself redundant from your own business.
Yes.
Because if you are the legend in your own lunchtime, if you're the center of the universe within your own company, it's very tricky to sell, very hard to sell. So aiming to make yourself redundant from your own company should be the aim. So you build up and you upskill the team around you, the talented people around you, perhaps with your values still within the business, but they do the work. And to be frank, the people that work for me, I've got several businesses now, they're better than me. All sorts of things.
Yay, that's so exciting.
Even I have to say, I've even got people who are better at selling than me.
Awesome. I can't wait to meet them.
But with a succession plan, because you don't have to sell your business, but you can exit the business the day to day. You don't have to work in the business for it to grow because you've built the team. And
right.
That is the trick of being in business. Otherwise, a lot of business people, and I've known a few, and you've probably, people listening to this, and certainly yourself, Ashley, you know of people who've died prematurely, arguably, because they've worked and worked and worked. They've not enjoyed the fruits of their labor, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, apart from the emotion of that is so sad that, you know, there's more to life than work. It's an important thing, but it's not the ultimate aim. There's something greater than work. It probably comes second. It comes second in my priority. I don't get me wrong. I love, and Christina, my fiance, would say, I still work too hard. Yeah. I'm a recovering workaholic.
I think I'm still in the workaholic realm. Because I agree with you. When we express our passion, though, then work isn't work anymore.
Exactly. And so I'm having fun. And that's something I learned from my business coach, Philip Delisle. He said, if you're not having fun, you're in the wrong job. Change the job. And he's absolutely right. So if you're not having fun, you've really got to ask yourself some questions. You know, are you doing the right thing in the right place at the right time? If not, change it. We can't change the world, can we? But we can change the world within us very easily. Well,
it's easy. It ripples out, right? It ripples out, and it does begin to affect the world around us. And it's truly amazing. And you are so right. And what a great value point to share with everyone. So it's not just presencing yourself in your own genius. It's also maybe presencing the organization that you bring forward to the world. Yeah. Right? Whether you're a chef, or whether you're a business owner, or whether you're whatever, the purpose and the process that you bring forward to the world, presence that in the world, so that other people can come in, support that, grow that, and then also succeed that after you're complete.
Yeah, it's something I've learned in recent years, which is you can either live in the past glories, or you can live in the future, striving for something better in the future. Tomorrow would be better. But actually, the real secret to a happy, contented life is to live in the present. Because if you're living in the past or aspiring for something in the future, striving for something in the future, you can miss what's right in front of you today. And going back to your earlier question, it's the little moments, the little successes in the day or in the week that keep you going. It's like a little top up to the battery. Elon Musk would love it.
Right.
It's like topping up that Tesla car. And we all need to be topped up.
Exactly. Well, you know, I have to share that I have an electric car and it gets 30 miles out the driveway, and I utilize solar on top of the house to power up the car in the morning. And it gives me 30 miles and I drive 36 miles. And sometimes I land at my destination with 16 miles left to go. So how is that possible?
Exactly. But you could be topped up with your energy by just giving out to people, can't you? Because you feel good about giving. Sure, it's not always about people inputting into you. Just by an act of kindness, you can energize yourself. Cool, I'm sounding very woo-woo now. Apologies. It's infectious, Ashley.
It is very infectious. Well, I was going to ask you, you know, what inspires you that warms your heart in each and every moment you are experiencing the presence of who have influenced you in your life?
The two things immediately come to mind. One is I'm a father of 6, so not only have I grown several successful businesses, I've also fathered 6 children as well. I mean, they are an inspiration, and anyone that is a parent, it will resonate with them, I'm sure. My issue is that I need to spend more time with them. I mean, they range from 26. I've got twin boys at 26, and I've got twin girls at 8, and there's an 18-year-old and a 10-year-old in between girls. It's giving time, and business can steal that from you if you allow it. So that's my learning, and I'm still on that journey. I haven't properly succeeded, but the kids are just an inspiration to me. And also, I have to say, Christina, we're getting married next year in Albania. I've got to change.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I've got to become an Eastern Orthodox. Got to change my religion.
Wow.
From Church of England. But Christina and I have been best friends for 15 years, and we got together about 5 years ago in a relationship. So we know what each other was buying. when we got together 5 years ago, we knew each other inside out. Christina is a real inspiration to me. We are different personalities, but it kind of works. And what I really love about a relationship with Christina is that she tells me the truth. She speaks it. I think it's some of our Albanian background in the Balkans area of Europe. I need that. I need someone to keep me accountable and to tell me, to challenge me. I do need someone in my life to challenge me. So Christina is a fantastic inspiration.
That is beautiful. And so we don't really always recognize those levels of influence that we give out and we receive from others. And in the present moment, right? Sometimes we're overlooking it because we're thinking about maybe 15 other things in the process. And so taking these moments out, when do you take moments out in your day to experience that appreciation and that inspiration you receive from them?
So up until we had this thing called COVID, I used to spend probably 4 or 5 months a year out of the country. Some of it, I have a business in Dubai, so there's business trips on a monthly basis. But also we have a home in Albania, right on the Mediterranean. And wow. So summer was really, we'd have 2 months in Albania over the summer, and then we'd have visits in between. I was still working, but Christina restricted me to 2 hours a day, which most days I kept to. But there's nothing better than working on a beach or a cafe overlooking the beach and the sunshine, and doing some and responding to emails. And what I managed to do then is I started recording social media videos. So I was then transmitting from the Med in the sunshine, on my boat, because we have a boat there now. And so I was mixing business stuff with personal stuff and having fun. And it's a wonderful cocktail. It's even better than a margarita.
I bet it is. It sounds delicious.
It is, because it's the life I want to lead. I'm architecting the life that I really did what I've wanted for decades, but got so tied up with the corporate world and the business world. And in recent years, a light bulb went on that actually one day I'm going to be dead, and I'm going to stop breathing, and life can be short, right? And there's nothing worse. I've heard this from business people that no one complains on their deathbed. No one, or when they're seriously ill, no one says, "I wish I'd spent more time at work." No one. Well, maybe there's 1%. It's the regrets that you didn't spend time with people.
Right.
That's the regret, because the most valuable asset we have, right, isn't money or whatever. The most valuable asset we have is time, because you can never
Time
save
and
spend it.
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great value point. You know, when you're feeling down and maybe challenged and overwhelmed, you could take a moment, take a deep breath in, and say, okay, on my deathbed, what would I say?
Yeah, exactly.
And that might represent us all to what really is important. That's a great
like
visual. Yeah, I really like that.
So what you've said there, so what I've built in my life now is I want to build a living legacy. What's the point in leaving a legacy when you're dead, right?
Right.
You can't enjoy it with the people that you leave behind, by definition. Yeah. So right. I'm building a living legacy, and that's why I've retired early. I'm investing in projects. I don't invest in businesses so much. I invest in people. Okay, there's money that changes hands, but I'm investing in the person and the project.
That's beautiful.
And I work with 3 charities: an orphanage, a cancer charity, and I've just got involved in a new not-for-profit to do with Alzheimer's and dementia. But I have the freedom to do that because I'm not working 24/7 in the corporate world anymore. So when I leave this mortal coil, I want to leave behind things which I have enjoyed with other people, but I want to build a living legacy and look back and think, do you know what? I'm really pleased because I've invested in other people, not necessarily money, but I've invested time in other people, and we've built things together, and we've done things together, and we've shared memories together that no one can take away. So I'm sounding very deep and meaningful, aren't I?
That is really, really beautiful. No matter who we are, what if we all could consider leaving a living legacy? No matter how much money we have, how much assets we have, all of it, what could we do? Each individually, all of us, leave as a living legacy. And then I even get excited how can we join together, right, inside humanity, leaving the living legacy of humanity?
Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be great?
Now you're leaving. Now you're leaving something behind. And the real pleasure is seeing people grow and seeing people have fun as well and being part of that. That's part of the enjoyment, isn't it?
It's about being human.
And so, why just leave a pot of money behind? Why not do other stuff and enjoy it with those people? And so, and I'm doing some crazy, wacky things. Last
And
year,
how do they get to know how does people get to know the wacky things you get to do? Is that on LinkedIn? Is that on your website? Where is that?
well, the best way to contact me is to link with me on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
The
Awesome.
I always link with people. I always accept their connections unless they try to sell to me within a nanosecond of a connection. You know, relationships take a while to develop, don't they?
Sometimes they do.
And
especially when you're not being woo-woo.
but I post most days. Some of it is business related, some of it is human related, and there's something in between. But last year, when we were in Albania for the summer, I bought 6 massive inflatable canoes. They were 11 feet long, huge. And I bought them because I wanted to rent them out. There was a little rental place that does rentals of cars and stuff. And I thought, well, if I bought those and shipped them to Albania for the summer, he could have them in his rental shop, and then we could split the profits 50-50.
Right.
It's just a crazy thing. I don't need to do it. I wanted to help him. I wanted to have fun. And it's just sort of just a thing, an impulsive thing to do. So.
And everybody wins.
Yeah. Now I've got, I have to garage 6 huge mammoth inflatable canoes, along with surfboards, cars, motorcycles. It's about having fun and doing it and sharing it with other people. There's no point being rich and lonely.
Absolutely.
What's the point of that?
No point in that at all.
Talk to you.
Yeah. Well, I have so enjoyed this conversation. It has been a miracle and magical and amazing and truly inspirational. And I wanted to share with our audience an opportunity for everyone to experience. We have a nighttime on every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. your time, a self-healing meditation love practice just made for you, where my co-host, Annie Kolatkar, and advanced energy healer, we provide healing and meditation for you once a week for 30 minutes. The program is by donation, and we are so excited for you to sign up at centerforconsciousawareness.org and really experience the miracle as you 1 week, each week for 12 weeks at a time. And each of these episodes represents a context in which you can focus and meditate with, just like we've experienced today, knowing that your presence matters. And I thank you for joining us and seeing how the miracle is you inside your own self-healing meditation process. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us this week. I have so enjoyed your company and to share really, truly the inspiration that you are.
Well, bless you for saying that. I've got a cheeky request.
Yes,
as you'd
please.
expect from an English guy. If people want to read about my journey from suicide to success, there's a book. It's on Amazon. It's in Dubai. That's me in the photograph.
That's
and
beautiful.
On the back cover is the oasis. So even though life might look barren, there is an oasis around the corner. So that's another way people can read about the story, and they're very welcome. That is
great, and I will include the link inside all of these postings for our show today about your story is so inspirational and really can help transform the planet and humanity. Honestly, for those who are feeling that drawn out, that desperate, that depressed, not knowing that their presence matters on the planet, that matters here in the heart.
No, thank you for that, Ashley. And it is worth me saying that all royalties for the book go to mental health charities. So it's it's sustainable,
It's
helping giving back.
sustainable, giving a living legacy to the planet and to humanity is what you just did.
Well, we try our piece, don't we? We're a little bit. We can all make a difference.
We all do make a difference, right? And bringing that out is what's so valuable. And that's what relationships really are about, is valuing each other's presence.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
respecting it. Yeah.
What I wanted to share with everyone next week, and Rob is good friends of our next week guests, I wanted to introduce the highly acclaimed and highly conscious international singer and songwriter Paul Luftenegger, as we really dive into the realm of oneness, birthing the miracle from inside you. And thank you all today for joining us live. We so have enjoyed meeting you and seeing you online here and being a part of your life, because your presence matters, really participating in this TV show called The Miracle Is You. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day.